What is going on, guys? It's your boy crobbyrob, and this is my 7-year calisthenics journey.
What's going on, guys? crobbyrob here. What's going on, guys? crobbyrob.
Now, some of you are already going to be thinking to yourselves, what, 7 years? That's not impressive. I could do that if I did it for 7 years. Well, here's the deal. This journey was not a linear, progressive thing, and it wasn't a constant thing. I started calisthenics 7 years ago, but I haven't been actively training and doing the right things over the course of the 7 years. I'm about to show you guys kind of what my journey looked like, what I went through to get to this level that you guys see now. Physique, the skills, all the cool, everything that calisthenics is kind of about. Show you guys what I had to go through to kind of get there and explain some of the process to you so that you can apply it for yourself and kind of know what to expect, as well as teach you guys and show you what it actually looks like on a journey. I lost a ton of the footage from when I was first beginning, but when I first started calisthenics, I was just barely able to do the basics. Barely doing push-ups with improper form, grinding out and jumping for these pull-ups that I couldn't quite do yet. Just getting a few dips in and then doing body weight air squats, and that was my routine. That was it. After doing that for a few months, I had finally built up decent enough starting point to actually tackle some of the things that I wanted to. At this point in time, I was fascinated with handstands. I really wanted to get my first L-sit. I remember struggling with the L-sit for so long and trying, couldn't get the full one, and eventually caving in and just doing the tuck variation and the beginner progressions to work towards that L-sit. Now, at this point in time, I was still doing and focusing on the basics. I had just gone and moved down to school, and I was super dedicated and serious with my calisthenics training. I was probably training every single day doing something. I remember kicking up against the wall trying to learn a handstand for literally 8 months straight. And that's mainly because, guys, I had no clue what I was doing. I had no clue the best way to do something. I was watching workout videos, but the workout videos that I was watching were progressions and workouts to follow. I did see some how to handstand videos, but nothing really clicked for me. I was more of a, I'm just gonna do this and I'll figure it out type of person. Now, for those of you that don't realize, or maybe you just started on your calisthenics journey, something that's super important is understanding that it is a total process and journey. If you don't know how to do something, you ultimately need to learn and watch a bunch of videos and try a bunch of things to learn. I can fast forward to about a year in of just grinding out these basic exercises, learning some of the basic beginner skill movements like frog stand and handstand, and trying to get my L-sit. I think I didn't touch my first muscle up until 6 or 8 months in, but I was just starting to do some chicken wing muscle ups. And I had actually built a pretty decent physique. I had felt good about myself. I was in a good spot. This was a year after my first year of college, and I was doing pretty well, I thought. The reason why I realize now these things took me so long is just because I just didn't know what I know now. I was really training sporadically. Even though I was consistent with my training, my exercises and workouts were not always directly related to my goals. I didn't have a super structured routine, and I could have done a better job of understanding and learning the proper progressions to actually unlock the key skills and movements that I wanted to work towards. At this time, I was lifting a little bit of weight and I was putting on some decent muscle mass. So while I was getting stronger, I was gaining more weight, weighing heavier, and skills are hard. Now, naturally, I'm 6'1" and I weigh 190 pounds now. I started at 144 pounds and I quickly progressed up to 160, 165. And then after that first year, on my second year, I got all the way up to 172. And I remember I stayed at 172 pounds for the next 3 years. This is where I feel like the meat and potatoes of this video are, so to speak. I felt stuck, and at this point in time I had entered a relationship in my life, I had dropped out of school, and my priorities were kind of all over the place. While I was always dedicated to sticking to my workout routine and program, I was not as strict with my training that I could have been, and this delayed my progress a ton. At the end of the day, I cannot stress to you guys how important it is to have a dedicated, structured routine to work on your goals. If you do not have a routine, you are inevitably bound to not see the progress that you really want. For me, at this point in time, I was about 2.5 years into training, maybe going on 3 years, and I was stuck on single leg tuck progression of lever. Couldn't even do a single leg tuck planche. I was really just doing tuck planche. Trying a bunch of exercises that I couldn't quite do yet, like straddle negatives, and failing at them. While I was still progressing and pretty strong at the basics, I was just struggling with the skill side of things. I felt stuck, I felt unsure, and the only thing I could muster to tell myself is to just keep going. Now, if you're like me, I'm a very self-aware person. I know even back then I knew that I could have been doing a better job at certain things. That being said, I ultimately was very stubborn and wanted to do it on my own so that I could kind of be at this point that I am now and say that I made it to where I wanted to be without any real help. But I did learn that time is valuable, and if I could have spent the money to skip a few years and get to where I wanted to be quicker, I absolutely would if I could go back. And that's why I do what I do now, helping so many people learn calisthenics and master their training in order to get to where they want to be with their calisthenics. Now, I stayed stuck at 172 pounds for literally 2 to 3 years. Reason being was because I was not eating enough calories and I was not training with enough intensity to actually see the results that I wanted. I was doing skill workouts sporadically, practicing moves here and there that I couldn't quite do yet. And I was just making some silly training mistakes for being at 3 years in. Now, I stayed stuck in this spot for a while. Mind you, towards the end of this 3-year period, I had gone through a breakup at the time, and thus started the villain arc. If you guys have been through a breakup and you work out, then you know exactly what I am talking about. For me, I became extremely dedicated and goal focused again with my training. I basically tuned out everything else and said that this is what I am going to do. Now, in embarking down this villain arc journey, I became a monster. I was PRing in the gym almost every single week, even though the month prior I was stuck on beginner basic movements. I had been doing those exercises for so long that it almost makes me feel like in hindsight it was just a mental block, because I got so good at single tuck lever and these different variations that I was stuck on at the time. When I finally had made the decision to up my weight, up my training, up my intensity, up my calories, and go all out, I had seen my growth skyrocket even after the newbie year gains were gone. And it was within this first year of just going down this journey that I had just became a monster. I had tuned out everything else, only focused on my goals, my skills, my training, and meeting like-minded people within the gym community that I was in at the time in order to make as much progress as possible. I had started back up the YouTube channel. I even got myself a workout partner, and I really went hard on social media, especially on the short form content platforms. I did this for about a year straight. I saw amazing results, and then I had decided it was time to share what I was learning with other people. I had really gone deep into content. I was starting to gain some traction and build a following after a year of consistently posting and seeing virtually nothing. Within that year period, I had gotten injured. I had done a bodybuilding show. I was doing things that I wouldn't even think of, and it wasn't even mattering because I was just progressing straight through everything that I took on. A key tip for you guys is when you feel good, run with it. Use it, use it, use it, and then when you come back down and you're not necessarily working at the same level that you were, that's like my chill period. My life, I go through phases. My whole life, my whole journey, I go up, I go down, I go up, I go down. I train really intently for a period of time, and then I take some relax and rest. So after really a year of seeing some great results on my own, I started to work and reach out to a ton of different people and help them on their calisthenics journey. And at this period of time, I have accomplished most of my calisthenics goals. I can human flag, I can front lever, I help other people accomplish their skills. I have an insane physique that I was able to build for myself just through doing weighted calisthenics and calisthenics. and I'm able to teach and give other people that same information and help them on their journey now. So although this was a 7-year journey, there was a lot of process and journey of in between ups and downs. I fought injuries, not knowing what to do in certain times, and through all of that I have learned so much. I have to thank you guys for always tuning in, always supporting the channels where you can, and it really does mean a lot. If you guys are interested in calisthenics at all, I encourage you to follow the channel, because I will be posting a ton more videos like this in the future, just explaining, breaking down certain things, showing you exercises, progressions. A lot of what I do now is actually coaching at these workshops and hosting these events for people to come out to and learn calisthenics, and I want to keep showing you what you can do and showing the actual raw footage of helping someone and what that looks like. But as always, if you guys have specific questions, just drop them down below, because I will always try to respond to those, and maybe even make some videos dedicated towards your questions to best help you guys out. And if you guys are serious about getting started with calisthenics, I encourage you to watch and learn as much as possible and stick around, because my next video I'm going to be breaking down exactly how you can start with calisthenics training and see the progress and get to this level. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will catch you on the next C Robbie Rob video.